week 6, even though we skipped a week, the week 6 post-game show, joined by a special guest. The game of the week was a good one. Prestige Worldwide and the Swish Kebabs. Shane Patrick joins the crew today. So Shane,
Swish good.
oh, he's coming, bringing the heat today. So hey, going to be a good post-game show. Let's start with that game, Prestige and Swish. I checked Instagram before the game. They picked you guys. So good job stuffing the ballots on the Instagram poll.
I thought we were down on the Instagram poll.
No, 55-45.
Okay, all right.
I checked. Maybe it changed. But what happened in that game, we're going to start with you. We'll go down the line. But you mentioned it in your interview. They're a good team. But what did your team do today that allowed you to win?
Out hustle. Everyone hit everything, and that's something different for us. We hit, like we were just talking, Brian must have 20 assists because everything he passed went in. So we were just, the luck was on our side this week, and hopefully we can keep hitting, shots keep falling. The defense is just A1 like it has been since day one.
Jared?
Just building off of that, they played very harassing defense all game. Swish really couldn't get anything going like they had been in the previous weeks, and Prestige was able to give them their first loss.
Yeah, on the defensive side, it looked like Swish Kebabs was confused up there. They looked like they were forcing everything. They didn't know what to do. And every 50-50 rebound looked like Prestige came down with it. That was huge, especially late in the game.
Shane
So,
came down with it.
exactly, yeah, I was going to say. Shane. So before we let you go, you were saying Swish who? Any other messages to any other teams? You want to you got the floor here.
You guys got your first win today.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Seen that.
Winning is rare.
It's tough to come by for some teams, but no, real talk. All the teams look good. I gotta say, if we had Bry that 1 week, I think we'd still be undefeated. But that's the way the game goes. But the rest of the teams, it's gonna be a toss-up going to the playoffs, and hopefully, the way we play today, we'll be riding right to the championship.
And yeah, I was going to mention. So, what are you looking? It's going to be your first playoffs with this single elimination. Anything can happen. So you mentioned having Brian definitely helps. But is there any matchup stuff? Like what teams? Not saying teams stink, but what team would you want to maybe not see to the finals compared to the semifinals? You've been scouting.
You know what? As much as I may want to hate him for pointing at his team, if I get the Wild Hogs look tough.
They're frisky,
and
man.
They're feisty.
Mm-hmm.
This guy behind the camera. But I'd like to say them to the end, kind of get that. That would be a viewer's choice game. I gotta say, there's a lot of hostility in that game.
A lot of posters too. Brian Yarst, the big dunk today, got it.
That's the big man, not me. That's the big man right there.
Thank you,
guys. Thank you.
All right, we'll get to the other games right now. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So, the other good game, he mentioned my team. That's what I'm talking about. So you bring them on, sucks up a little bit. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Halfway Crooks get their first win over. Oh yeah. They did have a very good shooting night. So Halfway Crooks, not so much. Don't check my stat line. But 64-52, Mike making a face behind the camera. He's not wrong. What did you guys see from the Halfway Crooks? And I think we're rounding into shape.
Honestly, you guys are probably one of the better defensive teams in this league. We saw it last week. You held Swish Kebabs to under 70 points, which is extremely rare for them. This week, you were able to beat Average Joe's in a really defensive matchup. It seemed like it. It seemed whenever you guys needed a stop, you would get it and then go on a little mini run, and that's kind of what did it for you guys.
Defensive matchup is a nice way to put it, right,
Overall,
Jared?
you guys just look. Overall, you guys look more like just a complete team compared to Average Joe's, and in the end, you were able to get the win.
Awesome. Let's get to the other matchup of one-loss teams heading into the day. Boom Shakalaka and the Werewolves. 83-66, Boom Shakalaka with the win. Nate Stitcher was back, very noticeably back. But Jared, we can let you start this one. Yeah, you did see this one.
Yes,
Boom Shakalaka right here. They're one of those teams we got to keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah.
And the Werewolves are good, and they kept it close despite the score. But what'd you see from Boom?
Well, whenever Stitchell was on the court, they just completely controlled the game. Like he was just getting steal after steal, passing it to everybody, and they were just knocking down every shot they put up, and they were able to come out with the victory in the end.
It was insane how much energy they had on defense, swarming the ball handlers, coming up with steals, and then translating that into quick offense, easy buckets, breakaway dunks for Nate Stitchell. I'm pretty sure he had like a Dominique Wilkins type style thing, where he brought the ball down to his feet and then threw it back over. It was insane.
Him and Sweeney together almost
Oh yeah, one of the
about
better
50
duos
points.
in the league.
Good combo for sure. And we do have to shout out Brian Heston, who did his thing despite the losing effort tonight.
And Gino was hot from 3 too.
Right, which has been a thing this season. Gino's been shooting it well. Green Squad and the Wild Hogs. I know you guys didn't see this game. Tyler and no Greg this week to break down the
Down in
4-3 game. Yeah, he's gone. 69-51 Green Squad. I know we had Cody, Greg, and Vic. They hang around. We were talking to them. They were, Cody couldn't buy a shot tonight. and they were still able to win. They had their new addition, their big body, who was doing.
I hear he was a force.
You will get to see him, and you'll see a lot of him next week. Mike's not happy behind the camera, but the Wild Hogs, so still winless, right, Mike? And I realize you're behind the camera. Okay, so they are going to be playing some of those games now where they've been in a lot of these games too. Like this was not a 17-point game. It was 4 at halftime, so they were definitely in it. Joey Coro is a dunk machine, and Green Squad has their own dunk machine in Vicashu Jr. So, Green Squad's been around. So even when they're not making shots, even when they're not, things aren't going right, and they're playing a team that's hot and that's hitting some shots, the Green Squad still going to find a way to grind it out. You guys have seen them other weeks. They're one of these teams, to be reckoned with. Any last comments about week 6? So we skipped week 5. I'm gonna do some quick notes. Sorry, and then I know I cut off people all the time. I like to talk. So we have week 7 and 8 next, and then we got a player of the week for Shane. We'll see. We'll check his stat line. And then week 5 is gonna happen at week 9 at the end. Playoffs all got pushed back, and the semifinals will be on a Thursday. So check the schedule for that. Last thoughts about week 6?
I was going to shout out the Wild Hogs. It seems like Joey Coro every week is putting on a dunk show, and no one's been able to slow him down. So that's one of the most impressive, I think he's one of the most impressive athletes in this league. And when he can put it together with Mike Mandari behind the camera, when Mike can put up his score in a little bit, they can be a dangerous team. And you've seen it. They were in it with Prestige Worldwide. They were in it with Green Squad, and those are 2 of the top teams.
True.
All I have to say is I can't wait for week 7.
There you go. Hey, what's better than that? That's the way to get out of here. So, for Jared and Tyler, Greg, we miss you. You'll see you next week. Mike behind the camera. Hey, how your arms doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Camera's not doing so.
Camera's shaking a little bit.
That was the
though.
post-game show. We'll see you next week.